There is beauty everywhere. Even in the dark, there is light, and that is the rarest kind of all. Be brave to stand for what you believe in even if you stand alone. Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor. Most of the basic material a writer works with is acquired before the age of 15. A wise man will make more opportunities than he finds. Don't waste your time hating a failure. Failure is a greater teacher than success. Listen, learn, go on. War is not just the shower of bullets and bombs from both sides, it is also the shower of blood and bones on both sides. We are addicted to our thoughts. We cannot change anything if we cannot change our thinking. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Embrace the truth that joy does not happen to us. It reflects our mindset and choices. Every block of work has patience inside it, and it is the task of skills to discover it. Positive expectations are the mark of the superior personality. If it's not putting money in your pocket, it's taking money from your pocket. The truth is like salt. Men want to taste a little, but too much makes everyone sick. Mankind is made of two kinds of people: wise people who know they're fools, and fools who think they are wise. My happiness grows in direct proportion to my acceptance, and in inverse proportion to my expectations. Humans are not to be differentiated by caste, color, creed, and gender, instead by their approach, positive or negative. If you cannot find peace within yourself, you will never find it anywhere else. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. There's no point having wishes if you don't at least try to do them. When something ought to be true, then it proves to be a very powerful truth. No matter how long you train someone to be brave, you never know if they are or not until something real happens. You must learn from your past mistakes, but not lean on your past successes. Man's naked form belongs to no particular moment in history. It is eternal and can be looked upon with joy by the people of all ages. Never let hard lessons harden your heart. The hard lessons of life are meant to make you better, not bitter. Truth persuades by teaching, but does not teach by persuading. Life isn't about what you get, it's about what you do with what you get. The worst part about being lied to is knowing you weren't worth the truth. The cost of a thing is the amount of what I will call life which is required to be exchanged for it, immediately or in the long run. And just when I thought things were starting to get better, everything had gone wrong again. The living self has one purpose only, to come into its own fullness of being. The timing of your struggle depends on how resistant you are to your molding. If you don't give up on something you truly believe in, you will find a way. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. An opinion should be the result of thought, not a substitute for it. It is too difficult to think nobly when one thinks only of earning a living. To balance the scale of life, some will be rich while some will be poor. To escape poverty, you need to work beyond poverty limit. Always forgive, but never forget, else you will be a prisoner of your own hatred and doomed to repeat your mistakes forever. The most important thing about a technology is how it changes people. Never do anything that you can't admit doing, because if you are that ashamed of whatever it is, it's probably wrong. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you will ever have. Always try to be joyful and proactively benign to the people. By doing so every day, people have no control at all over my mood. The most confused you will ever get is when you try to convince your heart and spirit of something your mind knows is a lie. The heart makes its choices without weighing the consequences. It doesn't look ahead to the lonely nights that follow. There are no random acts. We are all connected. You can no more separate one life from another than you can separate a breeze from the wind. A man, though wise, should never be ashamed of learning more and must unbend his mind. Man is a clever animal who behaves like an imbecile. You talk when you cease to be at peace with your thoughts. The future is something which everyone reaches at the rate of 60 minutes an hour, whatever he does, whoever he is. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Ignorance isn't always the problem. Sometimes it's also the solution. It depends on how you see it. I know it's not easy for you, living this life, but try to remember, always try to remember, you're not the only one with troubles. All human beings have 3 lives: public, private, and secret. The absurd does not liberate, it binds. It does not authorize all actions. Everything is permitted does not mean that nothing is forbidden. Learn we may be with another man's learning. We can only be wise with wisdom of our own. Like poetry, fashion does not state anything. It merely suggests. I will no longer mutilate and destroy myself in order to find a secret behind the ruins. The public have an insatiable curiosity to know everything, except what is worth knowing. Once you have read a book you care about, some part of it is always with you. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Don't be afraid of failure. This is the way to succeed. All resistance is a rupture with what is, and every rupture begins, for those engaged in it, through a rupture with oneself. You only have to do a very few things right in your life so long as you don't do too many things wrong. The moon and the stars shine, even when the clouds hide the sunbeams. At first, they'll only dislike what you say, but the more correct you start sounding, the more they'll dislike you. Fantasy is hardly an escape from reality. It's a way of understanding it. Sometimes it takes years for a person to become an overnight success. Sometimes you get pushed out not because you're not worth it. You are worth more. The best knowledge is knowing yourself and your inner being. We all have stories we tell ourselves until we believe them to be true. You do not write your life with words. You write it with actions. What you think is not important. It is only important what you do. Become braver, stronger, wiser, kinder, and you will become better. Never feel shame for trying and failing, for he who has never failed is he who has never tried. All shall be done, but it may be harder than you think. Happiness consists in frequent repetition of pleasure. We say later, later, until later becomes too late, and all we can think of is if only. Success is defined in units of fun. It's all about being happy. What we fear doing most is usually what we most need to do. The cynic sees only cynicism. The depressive can taint creation with one glance. Everything is relative in this world, where change alone endures. Wisdom is having things right in your life and knowing why. A preoccupation with the next world clearly shows an inability to cope credibly with this one. The fruit of empty hopes is more bitter than the saddest truth. Maybe everyone is just waiting for someone else to save them. You are all the colors in one, at full brightness. Inspiration is sometimes as simple as a shared smile. Miracles do not, in fact, break the laws of nature. We never know how high we are till we are called to rise. Then if we are true to form, our statures touch the skies. He must be very ignorant, for he answers every question he is asked. Don't own so much clutter that you will be relieved to see your house catch fire. A kind thought, word, or action creates infinite ripples of caring, consideration, and peace. Life is the only trip where the journey is more important than the destination. A hero is no braver than an ordinary man, but he is brave 5 minutes longer. I think it's important to hold a mirror up to society and yourself. I have a dream that one day little black boys and girls will be holding hands with little white boys and girls. Those who grant sympathy to guilt, grant none to innocence. A corner is important. It provides privacy and an anchor and lets you exist independently of the room. If the highest aim of a captain were to preserve his ship, he would keep it in port forever. Ideen mij vivogem zivilgenges sotiste, ki si jai postavis sam. Be with someone who inspires you and makes you be the best version of yourself.